This is the Rokinon 35mm T1.5 Cine lens. Now, you may not be familiar with T-stops. You may not be familiar with Cine lenses. Oh, I'll start with an explanation. Well, I used this lens to shoot my Fuji X-T2 X-T20 comparison, and I'll show you some of those shots in this review. I asked B&H to send this lens with both Canon and Sony mounts, so I could also test some E-mount lens adapters, coming up in future videos. Well, but other than the mount, they are identical lenses. This scene is shot with the Canon on a Metabones adapter with a Sony a7 full frame, but this is the E-mount version on the Sony a6300. I'll change the lenses and the bodies up in this video, so you'll see in the top left which body, lens, and adapter was used. Well, it is a full-frame prime lens, and it works with both the full-frame A7 series as well as the crop A6000 series, where the crop turns it into a 50mm lens. It's large in both length, about 14 centimeters, but also in circumference. The filter mount is 77mm, and it feels solid, weighing about 700 grams. Compare that to the A7 II camera, which weighs 600 grams, or the A6300 at 400 grams. The construction is a combination plastic and metal with a black matte finish. There are some minor length and weight differences between the Sony and Canon mount versions. They come with caps, a hood, and a soft carry case. Let me start by saying that Cine is not video. In cinema-style shooting, every shot is carefully planned and lit. Every scene is carefully constructed with storyboards. Every image is created as thoughtfully as a painting. So why do you need a special lens? Well, stills are relatively easy for lenses. You're only trying to capture one frame after all. You don't care if the focus motors are noisy or if you can set and maintain an exact aperture. But the more you care and take care of the quality of the video that you're producing, the more you'll appreciate a Cine lens. In nearly all cases, filmmakers want to fully control the focus and the aperture. They want to make the creative decisions the rest of us prefer to leave to autofocus and auto exposure features in the camera. So incidentally, this is not a zoom lens, but Cine zoom lenses require one more feature. They must be parfocal, meaning that focus doesn't change as you change the focal length. On a movie set, the cinematographer is concerned with composition, and one or more assistants change the focus and the aperture as required, all very carefully calculated and planned. Cine lenses are also often operated by gears, and this enables a camera assistant to change the focus. That's why this lens has a ring to mesh with the gear ring, and the settings for aperture and focus are clearly marked on the lens, although camera assistants may also use tape to indicate the settings for a rack focus, where the focus in a shot changes from one subject to another. Cine lenses don't use f-stops. Instead, the aperture is measured using t-stops. F-stops indicate the opening diameter of the lens. T-stops measure the amount of light transmitted. Two lenses with the same f-stop might pass different amounts of light. Two lenses with the same t-stop pass the identical amount. While not important in still photography, this is crucial for cinematographers who want their exposure settings to be identical when switching lenses. Cinematographers are more likely to switch lenses than to use zoom lenses, and as a result, Cine lens manufacturers typically have several compatible lenses in their product lineup. One step up, Rokinon has a line of lenses whose external dimensions are identical, allowing the lens to be changed without moving the gears on the rig. This Rokinon Cine lens is fully manual. It doesn't do autofocus, it doesn't do auto iris. The aperture settings are displayed on a ring, which does not have click detents, so the aperture can be changed smoothly. Its maximum aperture is measured as T1.5, which provides a very shallow depth of field. It closes to T22. The manual focus ring is also marked with a center point and with markings to show the depth of field for the aperture settings. You can see that at f22, when the focus is set at 1 meter, the area from about 0.7 meter to 2.5 meters or so will be in focus. The closest focus distance is 30 centimeters, which wasn't quite enough for the close-ups I wanted in the review, so I used the A6300's clear image zoom to double the focal length. That wide aperture makes it exceptional in low light, allowing for low ISOs in low light settings. Rokinon makes this lens in mounts for Canon, Nikon, and Micro Four Thirds cameras, and it makes T1.5 Cine lenses in a variety of focal lengths, 21, 24, 85, and others, with different maximum t-stops. Rokinon also makes several lines of more expensive Cine lenses. And although they're usable for stills, none of these lenses are designed for still photography. Now, Cine lenses may not be for you, but as more stills cameras are used for cinema-style production, we'll be seeing more Cine lenses appear in the coming months and years. And if you're interested in stepping up the quality of your videos, Cine lenses will help. Now, in the large pantheon of pro Cine lenses, these are clearly budget lenses, but I found that they served my needs well. I'll let the quality of the images speak for themselves.